We have leaked information on the Nikon Z9 II. Will it have a global shutter? Will Nikon release a new camera aimed at sports shooters? And what changes will we see to the autofocus system? Well, I'll answer each of these questions in this video. But first, I have a simple request. Please subscribe to this channel. It doesn't cost you anything, helps this channel grow, and keeps you up to date on the latest camera gear. First of all, let's get the sensor specifications out of the way. The Nikon Z9 Mark I has a 45.7 megapixel full-frame stacked sensor. And the Z9 Mark II? Well, it's going to stick with a stacked sensor, and it is coming out in 2025. But Nikon's working on another camera, and that camera is going to have a global shutter sensor. And this camera is designed and architected to compete against cameras like the Sony A9 III and the Alpha One, with its ability to freeze time for sports and wildlife photographers. So when are we getting this new camera? Well, no date's been provided to us as yet. However, I am having just one thought. Stick with me for a moment. About a year ago, there was this rumor from Nikon Rumors about a Nikon Z9H, a camera that was supposed to compete with the A9 III that was going to have a global shutter sensor and was going to be released in time for the Olympics. Well, that didn't happen, and that died a lonely death back early in, well, this year. So is this potentially that same camera? That is a glint of that, and well, we don't know at this point. All I can go with is what we've been provided with. However, there is a patent application that talks about a Nikon global shutter sensor. Nikon patent application JP 2024-138-158 was filed on July the 30th, 2024 and published October the 7th, 2024. It claimed to solve the problem of that jello effect associated with rolling shutters by integrating global shutter capabilities as an auxiliary function. The imaging apparatus combines both shutter mechanisms to enhance image quality, speed, and distortion resistance, offering a more versatile solution for various imaging scenarios. Sony was the first camera maker to introduce a dedicated AI processing chip in the A7R5, and that came out in 2022. But then 2 years later, this past summer, Canon responded with their own dedicated AI chip in the Digic Accelerator in both the Canon EOS R5 Mark II and the Canon EOS R1. With rumblings of Panasonic getting ready to release their own AI chip with the upcoming refresh of the S-Series line in Q1, many expect Nikon to release their own AI chip. After all, Canon and Sony have already done so, and Sony did so 2 years ago. However, I did push my source asking if this source had any information about whether Nikon was going to introduce their own AI chip in the Z9 II, and well, we weren't able to validate any of that information. It just wasn't available to us. But we were told that the autofocus system will feature enhanced AI tracking, somewhat akin to the Nikon D500's 3D tracking, designed to work efficiently with animals, birds, and people. So at this point, this is just pure conjecture. But if we keep hearing about AI enhanced everywhere in the camera world, and for a while there, I mean, when the 1DX Mark III first came out, they talked about deep learning, which is a subset of artificial intelligence, or AI. So it kind of really started about 4 or 5 years ago. And then Sony 2 years ago came out with their own dedicated chip, then Canon. So if Nikon isn't coming out with their own dedicated chip, I still expect it to get some of the same capabilities that we see in the R5 Mark II or the Canon EOS R1. Maybe not action priority mode, it's hard to tell, but the source does tease us a little bit further. The AI tracking is anticipated to be significantly more responsive than the current autofocus system for birds and animals. From what we understand, once the focus locks onto a bird or other animal, it will track the eyes or head, maintaining focus as the subject moves through the frame, even if momentarily passing behind obstacles like poles or trees. So, who is this source? Well, no, I'm not going to tell you the information behind this source, because obviously that's bad. Allegedly, this person's told me some things based on their interactions with others. And it's tough to validate things until something actually comes to pass. And while this person has reached out to me with information before, I haven't had enough, how shall we say, interactions, received enough information that's validated to be able to say, yes, this is a highly reliable and trusted source. But what I can say is, from communicating with this person, they come across as credible. They're not using grandiose words. They're not using, marketing speak, the kind of stuff that kind of, where you get those red flags about the rumblings, rumors, or other information that just looks too polished or too good. I didn't get that. I got that this person had overheard through interactions with others these bits of information. And I know it's still early, but many of you had hoped to see a global shutter sensor. But again, when looking at a resolution of around 45 megapixels, that's a bit of a tough thing to do. Just look at the A9 III. While it's incredible, 0 millisecond readout speed, incredible having that global shutter for wildlife photography, instantly capturing that moment, there are potential problems with dynamic range, as we saw in that camera. So who knows how far along Nikon is in their sensor, well, how should we say, enhancements? And the sensor that's going to come out in the Nikon Z9, we don't know what enhancements are there, but it's this other camera that really has our interest. And I'm really curious about that. So regardless of which camera comes out first or which one you're interested in buying, just be aware that the autofocus system is going to be much improved. So does this get you excited? Does this get you really interested about what's coming out in 2025 as far as Nikon's concerned? It does for me, and it kind of resurrects the information behind the Nikon ZH. Maybe what Nikon rumors got wasn't false information. Maybe it was just very early information, and they decided to go back to the drawing board. After all, they didn't release the Z9 Mark II in time for the Olympics, so why would they release whatever this other camera is going to be? However, if you kind of look at this new camera and think, well, does it really offer that much more than the current Mark I? Well, you really want to take a look at this sale right on pre-Christmas. We haven't seen a sale on the Nikon Z9 until 2024, so consider picking up today for $500 off at $49.96. And if you'd like a mini Nikon Z9 and you don't mind a single SD card along with the CF Express card, well, it's also $500 off at $34.96. And if you act before Christmas, you can save $300 on the recently announced Nikon Z6 Mark III. And the competition, the Canon EOS R5, is $27.99. And for Canon customers, that's $1,500 off the Mark II. That's a huge difference. Seriously, if you are interested in purchasing any of these cameras or an abundance of other cameras and lenses that are on sale, a lot of the retailers right now, like B&H and Adorama and Amazon, are offering next day shipping so you can get it in time for Christmas. Please consider using my affiliate links down below because, quite honestly, they help support this channel. They literally keep the lights on, both the key light and the fill light. And a big thanks to those of you that have used my affiliate links in the past. It's very much appreciated. This channel's member supported. And by using these links, I get anywhere from 2 to 5% back. And that means no sponsored 30 to 90 second ad at the beginning of this video. I think it's absolutely irritating. For those of you that are using YouTube ads, you're not paying YouTube on a monthly basis, there's enough ads out there, and I appreciate you letting the ads play. But for those of you who actually pay YouTube, like I do, to not have ads, it's a bit of a kick in the teeth when you are then forced to have to watch a sponsored ad of 30 to 90 seconds. I don't mind these 5-second ones or even 10-second ones, but when you go 60 to 90 seconds, it's just, well, irritating. Anyhow, I want to wish you a happy Christmas, a happy Boxing Day, as well as a happy New Year. Things are a little bit interesting here. I can't really tell you what's going on, but we just got some bad family news. So in the next coming weeks, I might not be as quick as getting news out because let's just say there are challenges. But I do want to wish each and every one of you a good and happy Christmas, New Year's, and may you have a prosperous and safe 2025. Thank you so much for tuning in day after day, watching my videos, commenting, engaging, and using my affiliate links. It's very much appreciated. Thank you. Cheers and bye-bye.